Hello and welcome back. Today we are going to learn how we can manage the file and directory permissions between the local host and the container. At the beginning we will learn the basics and then we will move into more complex aspects, sharing tips and addressing some challenges. At the end we will improve our application using more advanced professional permission management strategies. At the beginning, let's start with the basics. So now I wanna list the content of this directory. And to achieve that, I will use the following command, ls-la. So as you see, I got those records, I got those rows. Every row represents an object inside of this directory. Now let's go through those columns. The first column indicates the type of the object and its access rights. The second column shows the number of links or directory inside of it. So this one here. The third column, this one, shows the owner name. The fourth one lists the group associated with this object. The fifth column shows the size of the object. And we have here the data when this object was last modified. And at the end we have the name of the object, whether it was a file, folder, or a symlink. Actually, I'm only interested in the first column. So let's check what does those characters mean. We have at the beginning dash or minus, and this means it's a file. D mean this object is a directory or folder, and L has to do with symlink or symbolic link. And for the people who don't know what does symbolic mean, symbolic link or symlink is a shortcut, point to another file or folder inside of the system. So for example, this symlink referred to the Docker file from the previous project, if you still remember. So trying to access this symbolic link mean I'm going to open the Docker file. So let's try to open it using vim and then my symlink. Enter. As you see, I got the Docker file. Going to get out now. Enter. So, the second three characters represent the rights of the owner. So, the owner has read, write, and execute privileges. The group associated with this symlink has read, write, and execute privileges. And the last three characters represent the right of everyone else. So also everyone else had read, write, and execute permissions. So if you see instead minus, this means this right is not available. So let's take this one, for example. The user has read, write, execute permissions. But when it came to the group associated with user, the group does not have write permission. Also, the same applied on everyone else. So now, if you still remember in the previous video, we ran the following command, chmod and then -r 777 point. I want to discuss the meaning of the numbers, and to understand that in a better way, I prepared the following file. So let me clear. Let's use vim and then my file. Let me zoom in. So basically, every number represents a combination of access rights. So for example, 0 is very limited. No access right at all. 2, read only. So W. For example, 6, read and write. So 7 is very unrestricted, and it means you can do whatever you want. Read, write, execute. So using this combination will help us to define the access right of every actor. So for example, 777 means everyone could do whatever he wants. 644 means the owner has read and write, but he could not execute, and the associated group and everyone else have only read permissions. So now let's try to take this combination as an example. So basically, number 7 means read and write, also execute. Number 3, let's check it here, means write and execute. So we're gonna write here minus W execute. Number 0 mean there is no write at all. So minus, minus, minus. Let's try the next example. You can pause the video and try do it yourself. So number 5 means read and execute. So basically R minus X. Number 4 means only read. So read minus minus. Number 1 only execute. So the other or everyone else has only execute privileges. I hope it's clear. More than that, really I can't do. So now let's get out by using Q and explanation mark. So this command, for the people who don't know Vim, means leave the Vim editor without saving. So zoom out. Let's come back to the original command. So say chmod dash R777 point. So this command will help me to change the access right for an object, directory, folder, symlink. Using -R will help me to apply those changes or those new rules on this directory and all the subdirectories and files inside of it. After that, we're gonna need to specify which kind of rights we need to apply using the numbers, and then we have the place where we are going to apply it. So in this example, I use point because I want to apply it on this directory. But I can, for example, apply those rules on specific folder or file by writing my file.md. So let's check the rules now after we change the permissions ls-la. So as you see, it changed to be completely open. So this one is current state and this one here is old state. Clear, right? So now I want to cover very crucial points. So let me clear the page. So I will list the content now again, ls-la again. And so basically, if you want to get inside of a directory, you need to have execute permission. And to demonstrate that, I will take the execute permission from my folder and I will show you what is going to happen. So say chmod, and then I'm going to choose more restricted permission, let's say 744, and then my folder. Enter. And now let's check the current state. So ls-la. As you see, the other and the group don't have execute permission. I will use another user now. So su and then new user, enter. And I'm going to try to get inside of the folder, cd, and then my folder, enter. I got permission denied. And this happened because I don't have execute permission. Let's come back to the original user. So if you notice here, the owner, me, has execute permission. So basically, I'm going to get inside. So cd and then my folder. Enter. Works. Now let's come back to the original project. So as you see, I split the screen into two sides. On the left side, I open the terminal on the host machine, and on the right side, I open the terminal inside of the container. So basically, the changes I'm going to apply on the local host will be reflected to the container, and the opposite is also correct. And this includes access rights. Let's take an example. I'm now on my local host. I will run chmod and then 000, and let's take readme as an example. Read, enter. Let's check the permission on the container. I will write ls-la grep readme. Enter. And as you see, the changes what took effect. If you noticed also, the user inside of the container is different from the user on my local host. So basically, I'm run here as a root. And this could lead to some problems. For example, I will create now a file. Let's say touch new file.md. Enter. Let's check the permission now for this file. ls-la and then grep, and the name of the file is new file. Enter. Only the owner has right permission, while the group and the other have only read permission. And from the perspective of the local host, my user will be seen as other. So basically, I don't have right permission. Let's try to open the editor or EDA. This is the file I created already. I'm going to open it and I'm going to try to write something. I got read-only status. So I'm not saying this is wrong, but I want you to be aware of this fact so you will be able to handle it. One solution for this problem is to open the container using the same user or the same ID. What I mean with that, I will get now out of the container and I will try to access using another ID. I will add a new flag now, -u, and then I will add the ID I'm going to use. So let's come back to the host and try to figure out what is our ID. And I can achieve that using the following command. So ID, enter. And as you see, I got my ID. So 1000. I'm going back to the original and write this number. Enter. And now I logged in using the 1000 UUID. I will try to create another file. So touch new file 2.md. Enter. I will come back to the PHP storm. And this is a new file. I'm able to write. I hope it's clear. I don't know what is your current state, but I believe we ran the following command as a temporary solution for the access right problem. chmod and then -r777 point. So now let's solve the access permission problem in a more professional way. At the beginning, I'm going to change the access right for all files using the following command. Let me clear this one and copy the command, paste, This command will change the access rights for all files inside of this directory and subdirectories from 777 to 644. Enter. And now let's try to check the current state. ls-la. Enter. So as you see, all the actors have read permission, and the only actor who have write is the owner. I repeat, everyone have read, and the only one who have write is the owner. If for some reason you got a permission problem, just add sudo before the command. And now I want to modify all the directories. And to achieve my goal, I prepared the following command. Copy it and paste. Enter. I repeat, if you got problem, put sudo at the beginning. So clear. And then ls-la. So let's take a look. As you see, all the directories, or let's say all the actors when it came to directories, has execute permission. Maybe it's not the best decision, but for development, I will stick with this state. Now let's open the browser and check the current state, localhost, and then 8090, enter. We have another problem. So basically, the server is trying to write some log messages inside of the file, database.log. Failed to open Steam, permission denied. I will come back to the terminal to explain what's going on. So, the issue is that when we run the container, the default user is the system user www-data. And this user does not have write permission. Let's check the user. So ID www-data. Enter. As you see, UID 33 and the name www-data. So what I'm going to do now is to change the owner of the log files. I'm going inside of the log folders. Enter. And then let's see the current state. We need to change the owner for this file and the other file from my user, so Nasim91, to www-data. And I can achieve that using the following command: sudo and then chown. I'm going now to specify the name of the user. So I will write www-data and then colon. And now I'm going to specify the name of the group. So again, www-data. You can use 30:30. It's also acceptable. And then we're gonna specify the name of the files. So database, and the second file is app. Enter. And now let's check the access rights again. And yes, we got www-data as the owner. I believe this solves the problem. Let's come back to the browser. Voila, works. Let's try to add some tasks. Study. Enter. No, delete. Work perfectly.